Hello everyone, I'm the Nerdy Fool and welcome back to Rogue Trader. As I recall, we came to this system because Irliat told us that there was information here about her people, or her people had been spotted in the area or something to that effect. We got here, we found this ship, and we ended the session by landing on the ship and then deciding we would take care of it in this stream. So let's see what's going on and how it goes. We've got a couple of bridge officers and an intimidated officer ahead of us.
I won't tolerate weakness.
The lanky, haggard-looking officer with sunken cheeks stares at you in fright. His body is shivering as if from a feverish chill, and his eyes are darting back and forth anxiously. Your lordship, Rogue Trader, what brings you to our humble ship? Stop shivering like a leaf in the wind, monkey. Answer me. Have you seen others like me in this system? If you have, tell me where, when, and under what circumstances your paths crossed and diverged afterward. The officer's eyes widen at the sight of Irliat. His face grows even paler than before, and his lips move in a wordless prayer, unable to utter a word in response. A whirlwind of orange and blue torments their souls. Can you not feel its gusts in the air all around us? Its hues are terrifying indeed. Arnik sets his hand on his weapon and nods at the trembling officer. I have seen people like this before, afraid of their own shadow. More than that, I have turned my underlings into this. He has been tortured. Who are you? How do you know that I'm the Rogue Trader? What are you so afraid of? You see here that we're about to find out. Or strike him. Answer when asked, you worm. Probably not that one. Who are you? We are... The officer swallows, gives you a strange look, and then closes his eyes. Emperor, forgive me. End dialogue. I don't want the dialogue to end here. Are you going to attack me? Okay. Wow. I just got knocked out.
I'm beginning to think that your kind is eager to step into our snares.
Ah. So, the rumors that her craft world survivors were in this area was a lie planted by the Drukari to ensnare us. Makes sense. You gasp, sucking in the poisoned air, each breath scorching your insides with liquid fire from throat to lungs. Every cell in your body is engulfed in maddening pain as if you are being doused in molten metal, skinned alive and subjected to yet another form of torture. You hear sounds coming from somewhere far away, the moans of your people, the shuffling of bare feet, and light footsteps slowly getting closer. Rogue Trader, a long-awaited meeting indeed. You can barely see anything through the haze of agony, but you still remember the voice well. The voice of the xenos who devastated your capital world. Marazahai's face is hidden behind a helmet, but his tone leaves no room for doubt. He is smirking. Irliat, who is writhing in pain next to you, is barely able to breathe out. No, what have you done? Are you dissatisfied, my kin? I promised that you would have your precious craft world survivors, and so you will. I will take you to them. I might even be there to witness your jubilant reunion. Damn you. Heinrich growls hoarsely as he tries to get up, driven more by rage than by physical strength. I will strangle you both myself. Marzahai nonchalantly kicks the arm Heinrich is using to prop himself up, and he tumbles to the ground. That seems unlikely, monkey. Both of your fates are now mine to decide. I mean, it doesn't take physical strength to use psychic powers. So... Servo drives whine under the tech priest's scarlet robe in a dogged but fruitless attempt to lift his body. The inferior flesh has betrayed me. You must have punished it poorly, Iron Monkey. No matter. As a captive, you will learn how to apply the art of torture to make it fear the very thought of betrayal. Marzahai takes a close look at your companion squirming in agony, then gestures nonchalantly to someone you cannot see. Bring in the injectors. The monkey I promised to Turvantias are among them. I don't know a lot of these names. I do not want these wretches to move an inch until they are in the hands of the Archmachinator. As for you, there's a disturbing gleam in the Dracon's eyes. You will have your share of paralyzing dreams too, but I'm going to keep you. You are far too precious to surrender to a madman playing with fire. Irlia, you deceitful wretch. No, she's clearly been lied to as well. This isn't her fault. Devious Xenos, I will see you both dead. Why are we blaming Irlia? Like, I'm looking at this and nothing seems to point that Irlia betrayed us. You'll rue crossing me again. Yes. Negotiate with me. We can still come to an agreement. No. You'll rue crossing me again. Like, I'll get out of this circumstance and come after him. Marzai clicks his tongue and shakes his head. You disappoint me, monkey. I've heard the pleas of millions and the curses of billions. You can do better. His last words fill your head like the deafening echo of a ship's siren. The gas creeps deeper into your lungs, eating away at them hungrily. As the agony spreads down your every limb, you are suffocating. Are you enjoying the sensation? I had this poison made for you. Who could have thought that a monkey would one day earn the honor, a special gift from a Dracon? But you're suffering. The Xenos leans closer to you. I knew the taste would be exquisite were I to add a touch of the Drukhari's talent for extracting anguish. However, there will be time for that later. No matter how I wish to play with you all one after another, I need you for a purpose, rogue trader. Gamora awaits you, all of you. Mandrakes, take them. Leave none behind. "16 hours passed. Your consciousness emerges from an ocean of darkness and nightmares, as if someone's powerful hand reached into its depths and brought you into the light. In the dark room, long and angular shadows move around and exchange remarks. One of the shadows approaches you, ripping apart the veil of pain and revealing features that look familiar to you. You are awake, monkey. Marzai's voice is sickeningly sweet. He is looking at you with idle interest, rolling a small and milky-colored object from one hand to the other. Our toxin masters spared no efforts to drag you out of the induced dream. I must commend the Nightmare Weavers. The emanations of fear you exude in your delirium are worthy of the highest praise. However, it is time to finish what you were brought here for. It is time to work for the good of the Cabal, rogue trader. What do you want from me? Why am I still alive? Where are the others? What have you done to them? Burn in the Emperor's scorching light, you filthy Xenos. What do you want from me? Only the truth, monkey. So very simple, is it not? A little honesty before the powers that be. I have the tools to extract the most coveted mysteries from the deepest recesses of your mind, but I'm not interested in your personal secrets. I only want that which will protect my Cabal. Why am I still alive? A good question, rogue trader. You are my tool, you see, a sharp and narrow scalpel that I will use to cut away the festering boil on the body of my Cabal. I spared no effort to set up this performance, the witnesses, the spies, the agents, and a small bargain to guarantee the result. All that is required of you is that you quietly play your part. I will even go so far as to put you in your native surroundings, in a manner of speaking. But if I see you stepping out of your role, I will make sure that you bitterly regret it. I might be able to play my role better if I actually knew what it was. I should do what you want. I've had enough suffering. How about we make do without roles and posturing? There's still a chance to strike a deal. I don't really want to make a deal with him. I just want him dead. Burn in the Emperor's scorching light, you filthy Xenos. I might be able to play my role better if I actually knew what it was. Marzai is silent for a few moments, playing with the mysterious object in his hand. You monkey hate creatures alien to your kind, and this hatred is fueled by primal fear and awareness of your insignificance. To us, you are cattle that exist to be butchered and to entertain us. Sometimes we use you in our little games, but to involve you filthy brutes in the politics of Camorra, let alone in feuds between the cabals, there are few worse ways to bring dishonor to oneself and one's cabal. From the first day I saw you, I knew you were being controlled by another hand, far too experienced and flexible to belong to another monkey. You stayed ahead of me, and Tazara anticipated our moves, fought back with surprising skill, and I can guess, no, I know exactly how you were able to know so much. Only one creature was sufficiently aware of our tactics and raid plans. You will help me expose her and restore the Reaving Tempest to its former favor. A 0% chance on this persuasion check. Well, as tempting as that is, I have a secret for you, something your spies and agents failed to uncover. Yeah, I don't know how we're supposed to give him this answer. Because what little we know, we've gotten from the Inquisition. So if there is someone with surprising skill keeping us ahead of them, we don't know who it is. Like, best we could do is point back to Achilles on Dargonas. Because that's somehow the contact goes back from there. I'm not going to say I'm going to do what you want. I've had enough suffering that's weak. I don't really want to make a deal. Do I just say burn in the Emperor's scorching light? Sure. Burn in the Emperor's scorching light, you filthy xenos. Marzahai clicks his tongue and gently caresses the object in his hands with the claws of his glove, making it emit a little squeal. It looks like you have acquired a taste for pain, monkey. Have it your way then. Resist the inevitable and know a new facet of suffering. The Drakari gestures to one of the shadows near you, and your head is forced backwards. Marzahai brings the hand holding the strange object closer. You manage to make out a translucent, glossy skin, a bluish, pulsating organs beneath, and a little head with serrated jaws before the Drakari pushes the larva into your face. Trying to guess what that would be if it's something I know about from 40k. But nothing comes to mind. Krau's test failed. No huge surprise there. We don't have a lot of skill. Ah, we failed our negative 10% roll. No surprise there. Sensing warmth, the creature springs into motion a moment later. As it blindly pokes at your skin, it discovers your nostril and brushes forward. Ugh. Stretching the skin and tearing through the mucous membrane, unbearable pain overwhelms you as the larva begins to force its way through the soft tissue and cartilage, each of its movements causing a crunching noise to reverberate through your skull. The creature greedily bites into flesh and moves ever upward, past the bridge of your nose, past your eyes, and then something alien invades your consciousness. Super gross. Darkness clouds your eyes, but the sensation of an alien presence does not relent. This is not a conscious mind, but something primitive, yet unbelievably strong in its unknowable pursuit. It is crawling around in your thoughts, scratching them with its sides, and changing their shape. Perhaps all this is just a bad dream, a quirk of the intellect exhausted by endless troubles, a calumny of a mind too weak for the burden it was made to carry. A stray light dawns at the edge of your perception.
You have disappointed us, rogue trader von Valancius.
Interesting. Lord Captain, we've received an astropathic message from Dargonus. Achilles Scalander reports a Xenos raid against a merchant ship in Gartrafal's Calamity. If he's listening in on our minds... A new message from Master Scalander. Achilles' aide reports that the Xenos leader will be heading an attack on the Paradise world, Grantis. Yeah, if he's reading our mind and seeing that we're getting all of our reports from Achilles, then that's
None shall stand
not good for us or Achilles. We've identified the breed of Xenos that pose this threat, the Eldari, humanity's ancient and insidious foes. Anything more? I focused all my attention on investigating the attacks across your protectorate. I suspect that there was something bigger behind the Xenos attacks, but... No? How is it that you were the only soul who managed to escape the trap on Rykad Minoris? How much truth is there in the rumors that the heretic Kunad Voltvir is spreading about you? It's the Inquisitor. So yeah, we're just betraying the Inquisition, apparently. I am going to ignore any minor liberties that you, esteemed rogue trader, may have afforded yourself.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
Do my eyes deceive me? Explain yourself, Alantok. Why is there a shard of Cruderok something? A shard of Cruderok in your chamber.
You are accused of consorting with Xenos, betraying the Imperium, and neglecting the interests of humankind.
Bunch of things to check out. Pulsating strands stretch from under Cassia's headpiece, one wrapping around her neck, while the other drain her lifeblood through her weeping eye sockets and mouth. Gross. Every exposed area of Argenta's skin modeled with an intricate pattern of scarlet blisters, crimson indentations, and charred tissue. A passing ray of light reflects off the countless tiny blades that look like they sprouted from inside Adira's body. Pascal's augmetics were separated, but not extracted from his body. The places where they connect to the organic tissue teem with predatory millipedes feasting on the coagulated blood and accumulating pus. Abelard Rosarian's limbs were amputated and then sewn back onto his body with remarkable skill and precision using human tendons.
Follow my lead.
The tribunal is waiting for your explanations. Come closer.
Uh-huh. Theodora? And here comes our principal witness, the rogue trader himself. Heinrichs gives you a cold look. If the presented evidence was not enough to convince you, his testimony will conclude this confusing case, full of oath-breaking lies and heresy. You dragged this boy into this trial and now expect someone will lend an ear to a lowly heretic's testimony. I thought better of you, Interrogator Van Calyx. I was so very wrong. Lady Theodora's voice sounds even harsher and angrier than you remember. Lord Inquisitor makes a vaguely dismissive gesture. Enough, let him speak. The sooner this business is concluded, the better. Then let us continue. Shielded by the powers of the warrant of trade granted by the Imperium, Theodora von Valencius more than allowed herself to openly collaborate with Xenos. You have never seen such a contemptuous grimace on the interrogator's face. She plunged her entire protectorate into apostasy and heresy, including the current rogue trader, and went out of her way to prevent the Inquisition and me, personally, from maintaining order inside the Expanse. Does the rogue trader admit to fraternizing with Xenos, serving them as a puppet, and rejecting the God Emperor's blessed light for the sake of his heretical desires and base profit? Decision consequences. You served the Xenos. You rejected his light. You reveled in your heretical desires and craved base profit. I have no memory of that event. I'm guessing that's all just dream stuff going on right now. Requires iconoclast adherent. The Xenos is gone. Why is the Lord Inquisitor here? And Theodore's reanimated corpse too. Didn't she die? Everything is wrong here. Willpower, which I will guaranteed pass. Wait, something is wrong. Why are you all here? Where's Marazahai? What happened? I don't know. Submit to the illusion I do, or submit to the illusion I swear by the Emperor every word is the absolute truth. We're going to use our willpower. It's odd that we have an iconoclast option here and not dogmatic. At least to my mind, but yeah. Willpower. Something's wrong. Why are you all here? Where's Marazahai? What happened? You try to recall anything at all, but your thoughts keep swirling like a turbulent maelstrom in your head, and searing pain grips your temples. As I reject your false dream, Onyx bends over you with a crooked smile. Rogue trader, are you all right? Or was your heretical association with Xenos so disruptive that you lost your mind? The mocking words do little to hide his irritation. The interrogator is obviously displeased with the turn the conversation is taking. The Inquisitor leans forward slightly at the sight of your anguish. For a brief moment, the boredom in his eyes is gone. It was amusing, but the joke has outstayed its welcome. Theodore shoots the interrogator a nasty look. It is painfully obvious this heretic is dancing to your tune. His word against mine. You had lost before you even unsheathed your blade, Heinrichs. You need not worry, dear Lord Captain. It was not my intention to bring up unsupported claims. Heinrich produces a data slate and skillfully manipulates the device until he locates the necessary information. The rogue trader has often been accompanied by a Xenos companion. It is true the Xenos Yearlet was one of your retinue. True. And though the warrant of trade does allow one to grant sanction to individual specimens, what is this if not a confirmation of the Von Valencius family's loyalty to the enemies of humanity? Rogue Trader's ties to the Drukhari, a different subspecies of Eldari, are just as obvious. Who else could help him divine the carefully prepared plans of the Drukhari if not other Drukhari? Ignatius Von Valencius always ended up in the locations of the next Drukhari raid, knowing for certain where they were going to strike. The only Xenotype plan I am aware of is the one where these foul game, where they play. I can't speak. Is the one where they play foul games with my head, or we submit to the illusion of yes, I did cooperate with the Xenos, or before the court and the God Emperor, I plead guilty to all charges. We are going to go with the iconoclast option then. The only Xenos plan I'm aware of is the one where they play foul games with my head. Indeed. Xavier Calcazar shoots the interrogator an amused look. What do you think he is talking about? He is obviously trying to disrupt the trial. Ignatius, I suggest you watch your tongue and behave yourself, and perhaps, only perhaps, it will be enough to preserve your miserable life. The interrogator shoots you a withering glare. At this point, the tribunal probably wants to know what the true intentions of the Von Valencius dynasty are. The rogue trader claims he has been waging war against the Drukhari this entire time. Except, was there really a war? Or was it another carefully staged performance? Heinrich is looking at you closely, almost without blinking. Allow me to explain what actually happened. Ignatius Von Valencius personally invited the Drukhari to his worlds, and then used their strength and resources to sow chaos in the Expanse, to gain leverage over his rivals. It is very convenient to play the victim while working with those who rob your neighbors, blind and terrify the worlds that pay you tribute. How much did you profit from this, rogue trader? Did you think I would not uncover your pathetic conspiracy? Willpower 20. Again, 100% chance to succeed. Enough of this circus, Heinrichs. I did not set up any attacks. Or submit to the illusion you've uncovered mine and Theodora's plan. That is exactly what happened. Or submit to the illusion it was Lady Theodora. She made me sign a blood pact with the Drukhari. Now, enough of this circus, Heinrichs. I did not set up any attacks. Heinrich's face contorts monstrously, his skin stretched to the limit across the bones of his skull, his voice ringing with fury. Morag, do not try to squeeze between the strands of the web, monkey. Do what you were brought here for. Are you really saying your war with the Drukhari was not a hoax? Then how did you and your foolish subjects know the coordinates of the enemy ships every time? How did you know their targets? Do you think your expert on all things Xenos was shrewd enough to divine the carefully devised plan of the Cabal's finest? No. Only other Drukhari could do that, and even then only a few. This means you were in collusion with them. Bullheaded stubbornness does not befit a man of your pedigree, rogue trader, but since you have decided to deny everything, I will summon another witness. I am sure everyone will find it interesting to explore this sordid story from another angle. Iliad silently takes a graceful step forward. If the court so desires, my speech will run like a river and wash away your doubts. I found a shard of my home in the rogue trader's chambers. An entire craft world vanished among the stars, the only clue to its fate resting in the hands of this monkey. That was when I began to suspect that he had something to do with the misfortune that had befallen my Kruderach. Do not be deceived by his breed. There is a cunning predator lurking behind the fluttering of fragile butterfly wings. The monkey before you is a bizarre amalgamation of qualities not usually inherent in his feeble species. He has mastered the mysteries of many of this world's cultures, the secrets of the universe and ancient artifacts, the fine art of war, the intricacies of deceit. All are embodiments in a single monkey, however hard it may be to believe. However, the thread that bound our paths broke the moment I realized the monkey's involvement in the disappearance of my home. To flee the rogue trader, I tracked down and eliminated his chief tracker, who had pursued our kin in this part of the galaxy for many years, and thus earned clemency before the court. So Achilles did not simply vanish. You helped him disappear. Onyx nods curtly. I say he had only himself to blame. An agent who cannot recognize an impeding threat is useless. Onyx nods with satisfaction, noticing your reaction, or rather, the lack of it. The court has been presented with enough evidence, and I hope no one is harboring any doubts as to the guilt of the von Valencia's dynasty. But let us allow the rogue trader to say his final words. We are all curious to know what you have gleaned from this inquiry. Is that all you've got? Xenos, I expected better performance? I hope I succeed in spoiling your little show, Marzahai. Or I'm nothing but a puppet in this charade. Everything that has taken place at this trial is a vicious lie. Yeah, is that all you got? Xenos, I expected a better performance. You useless, arrogant, soon-to-be-dead monkey. The trial is almost complete, and when the judgment is pronounced, I will gut you, fill your bowels with flesh-eating worms, and drag you through the streets. Enough. So I'm guessing when Marzahai told us to play along, play our part, we did not do that. After the spell is lifted, staggering pain pierces your body, darkness clouds your vision, and nausea creeps up your throat. But the wounds you manage to forget soon remind you that they are still alive. Ooh, another person with a portrait. Well, aren't you creepy looking? Archon Nazrake. Muffled clapping tears you away from the vice of agony. The Drukhari in the center of the chamber observes you coldly from under the golden mask, causing your insides to clench. The Dracon of the Cabal of the Reaving Tempest has been cast down by his own ineptitude in an attempt to take part in Thylian Kellethril. Never did I think that my eyes were destined to behold the greatest disgrace for a Dark One, a trueborn humbled by a lowly creature before the Council of Archons. Look at the Drukhari on the throne, lure Xenos that I will fail at 10% chance. Look at the female Drukhari. Look at Marzahai, look at Irliet. Or just listen to the conversation. We'll look at the Drukhari upon the throne first. One half of his face is hidden behind a golden mask with an intimidating visage. The other half is showing a malicious, sharp-toothed leer. The Xenos' elaborate armor is decorated with skulls and patches of human skin, impaled on countless blades and hooks. He carries himself with authority and ease, as though he is a ruler who holds the threads of fate of all those present tightly in his grasp. Let's try seeing what we can find out about the female Drukhari. We actually passed the 10% check by rolling a 2. Alright. It's going to be a good night, it seems like. Xenos is wearing armor encrusted with jewels and stands calmly next to the speaker. Such behavior is typical of the Xenos occupying the higher tiers of the Drukhari hierarchy, which means you're facing one of the Archons. Let's look at Mara Zahai. There's genuine terror in Mara Zahai's gaze, but his face remains impassive and calm. At one point, he catches your eye, and you can clearly see he is lusting for blood. Your blood. And Irliet? Irliet absorbs every word, occasionally wincing in pain and covering her weeping wounds. Her posture and gestures are full of tension. Like prey cornered by a pack of predators, Irliet shrinks under the hungry stares of those around her. Alright, and the conversation. With the greatest respect, mighty Nazrakai, Archon of the Cabal of the Black Heart, first among the chosen, voice of the Overlord of the Dark City, bringer of demise, conqueror of 100 worlds. Narzahai dismisses Marzahai like a bothersome fly. The Council of Archons has heard enough platitudes, Dracon Marzahai, and no longer wishes to. Sly intrigues, ruthless chill to jagged ice, turns lips. Didn't get the rest of that. And I can't see that dialogue as part of this dialogue because it was a separate thing. Shame. Of vitriol verbose, the cut and thrust keep time with fate's own machinations grave, but whose deft footwork leads to naught but dust, while from its brutal finish none can save. This play the puppet master granted me, through murky stalls, a path obligingly. Huh. The outfit makes me think this might be one of the Harlequins, but I don't know if they get along with the Drukhari. I've just heard of them as another Eldari subgroup. The Puppet Master has Vect himself invited you to this chamber. The Archon chokes on his words, but quickly regains his composure. No matter, you may be our guest, Arabenian, but you are merely a spectator in this performance, and spectators do not belong on the stage, as you undoubtedly know. Do not interfere. The stranger presses a delicate finger to the lips of his sorrowful mask and says, with a twinkle in his eye, "A shadow in the shadows will I be." Look at the Eldari who interrupted the trial. Recall what you know about Vect. We don't have terrible chances with either of those. Damn Xenos, I will burn all of you in this den of heresy in the God Emperor's name. Hey Archon, or whatever your name is, I shall soon be adding your mask to my collection of Xeno artifacts. Stop acting like I'm not here or listen to the conversation. Let's look at the Eldari who had interrupted the trial. Failed on a 70%. That is a shame. The smooth, subtle movements of this Xeno are unlike the rough lunges of the Drukhari or the cautious gestures of the children of Asuryan. But your aching head and lingering fugue prevent you from focusing your eyes on the daring soul who interrupted the Archon. The Xenos catches your eye and nods. For a moment, the play of shadows on the mask appear to twist its expression into a mischievous grin. Let's recall what we know about Vect. Also a fail. Judging by the Archon's reaction, this is a prominent figure in the Drukhari hierarchy, but memory fails you. You are not familiar with a Xenos by that name. Do we insult them, or threaten them, whatever, or just go back to listening? At the moment, I feel like listening will give me more information than interrupting. Sometimes just being quiet and listening is more useful. It has been a long time since the Obsidian Court last saw such an entertaining spectacle as this. The accusations flung at Archon Imerimus may be serious. Remeris may be serious, but I see no reason to attempt to delve into their substance. The Drukhari on the throne looks at Marzahai with a hungry leer, clearly waiting for his reaction. Marzahai's eyes widen. filled with astonishment and disbelief. He seems to have been certain of the outcome and did not expect what he is hearing. What he's hearing now. His lips twist in an enraged snarl, hatred directed at the xenos on the throne, and yet it finds no outlet after the gazes of dozens of Drakari in the chamber. The arena will make you answer for this insult to the court. The arena will strip you of your titles and your skin, and the contender's blows will break your bones and your pride. Nothing but blood and suffering will wash away the shame the Drakon has brought upon himself this day. With a hiss of rage, Marzai draws his blades, preparing to fight back. The Archon nods in satisfaction and makes an unfamiliar gesture. The guards draw closer to you. Let us return to you, Euremerus. The laughter of the masked Xenos interrupts the Archon and echoes under the vaults of the chamber in a resounding baritone. And all the masks upon the marks now stand. The slave of vanity the spire ascends. The thief and traitor cast downward by her hand. Unbeknownst to all, their fate depends upon a lead unseen, a player green. The Xenos leans forward and eyes you with genuine interest. The mask hides his narrow face, and his motley garb shimmers in the dim light. I'm not good at translating poems and riddles, but I'm guessing the lead unseen, a player green, is talking about us. I don't know if Marzai would be counted as the thief and traitor cast downward by her hand. Slave of vanity, the spire ascends, is probably the one who was actually behind it that Marzai is getting blamed for. I'm guessing. Is this how you treat the hospitality of Kimura, Arabanian? The Archon angrily balls his fists, the shadow of his wrath hanging over the Eldari interloper like a thundercloud. I thought your words were worth more. You insult me by interrupting the trial again. The Xenos sweeps into a theatrical bow without taking his eyes off Nazrai's face. You, Archon, speak a just rebuke in truth. Fate's melodies in snarls, fantastic have, entrapped me here, and when I heard them play, I could not keep my lips from grinning wide. Here comes the hour for shadows to retreat, to where the curtain waits to rise the laugh. With no beginnings, now sends forth the call. Ow.